Chosen one, your gift breaks generational chains. Inevitable rise. You were born carrying something ancient and powerful, something that could not be extinguished, no matter how many generations before you crumbled under the weight of burden, silence, and limitation. What they could not overcome, you are walking through with divine clarity. What they could not finish, you are destined to complete. You were not sent here to repeat the cycles. You were sent here to end them. You were not born to inherit the curse. You were chosen to break it. That fire in your soul, that persistent knowing in your spirit, that relentless calling on your life, it was not imagined. It's real. And it's why every storm you faced has tried to silence you. But even silence could not drown your gift. You are the one your bloodline has been waiting for. Speak and stand in unity. The universe, your ancestors, and the spiritual realm respond when belief is made visible. Your rise is inevitable, not because life is easy, but because your spirit is unbreakable. It was never about being the strongest in the room, but about being the most surrendered to the call. The kind of surrender that says, I don't understand it all, but I know I can't stay stuck here. That voice inside that keeps whispering, there's more, has never lied to you. It's been pointing you toward the path of liberation, not just for you, but for those who came before you and those who will come after. What they endured in silence, you are speaking in power. What they were forced to carry, you are being anointed to release. You are not merely gifted, you are generationally equipped. The chains you're breaking didn't begin with you, but they are ending with you. Poverty, it stops here. Emotional suppression, it stops here. Spiritual disconnection, it stops here. Fear-based living, it stops here. You're not just rising for yourself. You are rising for your great-grandmother who never had a voice, for your grandfather who never knew freedom, for your parents who gave what they could but were still limited by what they didn't heal. You are the one in the lineage who has the capacity to see, feel, awaken, and change. That's what makes your gift so disruptive. It doesn't play by old rules. It doesn't fold under the weight of generational guilt. It walks straight into darkness with divine fire. And because of that fire, you will be misunderstood. Because of your clarity, you will be questioned. But because of your alignment, you will be elevated. The higher you go, the more you'll be tempted to hide or shrink to make others comfortable. But you were not made to play small in a family of giants who forgot who they were. Your gift was given to reawaken their memory. Every breakthrough you experience sends shockwaves through the past. You don't even realize it yet. But every time you heal, forgive, grow, break patterns, choose differently, speak boldly, love fully, walk away peacefully, you're shifting the story for everyone connected to your name. This is why your path has been so heavy, because your purpose is generational. You weren't just sent to gather success, you were sent to shift the soil, to uproot the lies, to plant new truths. Every time you've had to start over, it wasn't failure, it was repositioning. Every closed door wasn't rejection, it was redirection. Divine protection has been guiding you even in your confusion. You may have felt alone, but you were surrounded by invisible hands cheering you on. Why? Because this is the moment the lineage has been waiting for. They had to preserve you. They had to hide you. Because your gift had to be protected until the appointed time. That time is now. You were marked long before you were born. There was a whisper in the spirit that went out the moment your soul chose this life. And that whisper said, this one will remember. This one will carry the fire. This one will break the chains. You weren't born into this bloodline by accident. Even if it felt chaotic, even if your upbringing was covered in misunderstanding, pain, or lack, it was still intentional. The assignment on your life required strength. It required awareness. It required you to be the one who walks through everything others were afraid to face. But the beauty is, You're not walking through it empty-handed. You're carrying a divine gift that was woven into your very DNA. And that gift? It isn't ordinary. This is why life hasn't been easy. Your gift has been under pressure since the beginning. It's been misunderstood, dismissed, envied, and even attacked. But every misunderstanding was divine training. Every delay was sacred development. Every isolation was God pulling you into alignment. Your gift couldn't be nurtured in noise. It had to grow in the quiet. It had to deepen in the shadows so that when you rise with power, not just presentation. You rise with substance, not just style. You rise with truth, not just trends. And when you rise, generations shift. When you move forward, invisible chains snap off of entire family lines. Chosen one, the battles you've fought internally were never only about you. They were spiritual wrestling matches between you and generational patterns that didn't want to let go. Patterns of scarcity, patterns of abuse, patterns of addiction, patterns of silence, patterns of guilt, shame, and confusion. But every time you stood your ground, every time you chose the hard conversation, the courageous decision, the unconventional path, you cracked those patterns open. And what poured through that crack was light. Your light. The kind of light that frees the soul and transforms the future. Now I need you to understand something vital. This is not a small moment. This is not a casual awakening. This is an irreversible turn, a sacred activation, a divine announcement to every realm, seen and unseen, that you have arrived in your power. And with that arrival, you carry authority, you carry healing, you carry vision, you carry access, you carry restoration. That's why you feel so different. That's why you no longer resonate with what used to drain you. That's why your spirit is pulling away from things that no longer reflect your truth. Because your gift is rising to the surface, and when the gift rises, the old must fall. This is where we pause for a moment to breathe and honor something truly divine. And now, we return to your rise. Because it's happening right now, even if you can't see all of it. You are the one who opens doors that were welded shut. You are the one who turns the family name into a legacy of power. You are the one who breaks silence with sacred sound. You are the one who does not bend under fear, but rises through it. The pain you've known has forged wisdom inside of you that no textbook could teach. Your gift is a compass, and it's taking you to places your family never imagined reaching. But here's what's even more breathtaking. Once you arrive, you won't keep it to yourself. You're going to send ladders back down. You're going to open your mouth and tell the story. You're going to fund dreams, awaken visions, raise up others who thought they were forgotten. That's what happens when a chosen one breaks through. They don't rise to boast, they rise to bless. And you, my dear soul, are already carrying that blessing within you. You don't need validation. You don't need permission. You just need to stay aligned, keep walking, and remember this truth. You are the pattern breaker, the silence breaker, the curse breaker, the gift bearer, and your rise? Inevitable. There's a reason your presence shifts the atmosphere. It's not just your energy. It's not just your mindset. It's the legacy that walks in with you.